RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
What's up? All right, guys, thank you for hanging out. This is our Friday night get-together. Welcome to it. My name is Tara Devlin, and we meet here every Friday evening at 8:30-ish. A little early tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here at the Tarabuster YouTube channel, youtube.com/cforchannel/Tarabuster, and on the Political Voices Substack. Thank you, and thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News, for your support, and for your support for the show, and for your support keeping the show going and growing, and for the community cats that you help. That matters too, so thank you. If we were living in a functioning society that wasn't under a authoritarian fascist coup, what would happen? We would be talking about animals, cats, animal rescue, I think. I don't know. Things like that. Things that matter. This matters too. And we have a lot to talk about tonight. What else? What am I trying to say? Yeah, if you can become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin, please subscribe to my Substack. If you can, do it for money, that would help keep the show going and growing. But if you can't, you could subscribe for free. That helps too. So it doesn't take anything but a couple of seconds to sign up to my Substack. And all right, whatever. I got a lot to say. I have a lot to do, and there's never enough hours in the day. So, what? Hal Sparks. Oh, okay. Yes. Dakota Dave. No, wait. Am I pronouncing that right? Yes, Dakota Dave broke from Hal early. So, yeah, thank you for showing up early. I started the show early. I think they're going to raid. At least that's what I was told earlier. And I'm happy to hear it. It's great. To me, when Hal Sparks raids my show, it's like Christmas to me. I feel like a kid on Christmas. Honestly, and it's probably the highlight of my week nowadays, right? And also, let's see, what else? I just want to tell you guys, if you're a person of my age and you like thinking and listening to not thinking. I like thinking. We all like thinking. I wish I could take a day off from thinking. But if you like listening to the oldies, you can check out apsradio.com, run by Charlie, and I think he's really onto something here, because it's the soundtrack of our memories, as we say, and you could put APS radio on and just keep it on all day and listen to the oldies, and it's very nice to hear some surprising old music that, it's nice to let somebody else do the spinning of the records, and you might hear something that stirs up those memories. I know it does for me. And Charlie also has a radio station, so apsradio.com Charlie has a couple of radio stations, and one is for oldies, classic rock and oldies, and the other is for classical music. So if you just want to tune out and listen to some beautiful classical music, I think it's a great way to just relax, right? And we need to take care of ourselves in this day, because we're under an authoritarian coup. There's no getting around it. The good thing is that people recognize it. And last week we had no King's Day, So and it was encouraging, of course. But what do we do now, right? Is this a raid? Oh no! Oh my God! Welcome, guys. Welcome all the sparklers from Hal Sparks Show. Amazing, amazing. Get your, put your hands up. So, I don't even know what to say. It makes me blush, really. And thank you. And I appreciate you guys, too. I really do. I really appreciate that, you're hanging out with Hal, and then you come over and hang out with me. So, it means a lot. And let me know, guys, this is a conversation, too. So, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. I gotta figure out some things like how I can hook up the phones again. We used to be able to take phone calls, and I gotta figure that out again. But since what happened with Skype, that's what happened, because the phone system used to connect through Skype, and now it doesn't. So I have to figure it out, because Skype is no more. And thank you, guys. Thank you. The raid is coming. Oh, my God. All right. So where do we begin? There's a few things. Okay. So we were talking about... I was supposed to have a friend on tonight. Nick Parrow from Banner and Backbone was coming on tonight, but his wife had some very good news today. It has nothing to do with... pregnancy or anything like that, but they went out to celebrate. Not that I mean, it's not my business to say anything personal like that, but when that came out of my mouth, I thought they might think he's having another baby or something. But so no, it's not about that, but they're celebrating something tonight, so he postponed. So Nick Parrow, if you aren't aware, has a Substack channel called Banner and Backbone. I love that name. It's perfect. And he also runs a weekly program called the Anti-Fascist Book Club. So you should check that out. And we've been talking about, for the past few weeks, Timothy Snyder's On Tyranny. So check it out. And Twisted Nerves Painting. There's a lot of plugs tonight. In the description of this show, there is a link to Twisted Nerves Painting's GoFundMe and his PayPal. So Twisted Nerves Painting has a GoFundMe for some video equipment to help his channel. And this is another great channel that I really hope you guys subscribe to. It's like Twisted Nerves Painting. It's very meditative. So he makes models, and he's a very talented artist. And he's got a great voice, and you follow along, or just watch it. It's very therapeutic, and I think you should check it out. All right, but if you have another couple of dollars to kick in for Twisted Nerves Paintings fundraisers, please do. Okie dokie, let's get on with the business of what we're doing tonight, and that is trying to make the world safe for democracy, right? So where do I begin? I have a couple of things, usually when I prepare for the show. Oh, and one more plug. Okay, it's a good plug. There will be another Tarabuster during the week, everybody, on Tuesdays, starting on November 11th, the week after Election Day. Where's my drum roll? I can't find it. Okay. How about this? That'll do, too. Or this. Oh, here we go. Okay, so on November 11th, this show, Tarabuster, there will be a Tarabuster during the week. It will be Tarabuster Tuesdays on the Political Voices Network, 2 p.m. I don't want to say more about that, but we're going to have some good guests starting off. Guess who's coming on the show? We're going to have JoJo from Jers. She will be the first guest to kick off this Tarabuster Tuesdays. It's going to be we're going to keep it tight on Tuesdays. I'm going to pick some stories out of the, madness, and we'll discuss it. It's only going to be an hour, and then hopefully we'll go to Thursdays. I'm trying to figure out a bunch of things in my life in general because there's just a lot of shit going on personally, and so I'm waiting for things to settle down a little bit before I kick it off. So that's why it's just starting with Tuesday. So, all right. I hope that's good. I hope you like that. Yeah, weekday Tara on Tuesday. It's just and it's not going to be another marathon. Friday nights we have our gathering, and it's pretty loosey goosey, except for the political voices. For the progressive voices. Cues, the music cues, but yeah. So it's a little bit more. I know. We need to have a show every day. This is my problem. If maybe we will. You know what I've been saying for years. I want to have a daily show at a set time, but the fact is, guys, I gotta keep a roof over the head in Tarabuster Studios, and the podcast just doesn't pay enough to to do that. So I have to, and I'm a freelancer, so I have to take work. And you guys, I'm not even kidding. I work probably 16 hours a day. So I'm not complaining because I will sleep when I'm dead. And I probably don't know what I would do without doing what I'm doing, So it's a privilege, and it's a privilege that you guys are here to support the show and me and us, and I really appreciate that. All right, we'll be right back. All right, yes, and thank you. Welcome, sparklers. This is amazing. All right, where do we begin? So I wrote an article at the Political Voices Network the other day, and this is the other thing I need to do too, because I need to write articles. I've been trying to think about it. Maybe you guys can help me, what you think or what you would prefer. People like videos. I'm trying. Am I complaining, Michael? No, I don't think so. Am I complaining? I don't like complaining. I think complaining is a waste of energy. So if I am complaining, let me know. I hate that. I'm not opposed to processing, our feelings and whatnot. But I think that complaining is just a waste of energy, and we get, we talk about what we're up against, so we come to a solution. I think we figure out what we're gonna do, make a plan and all that, make things better. But okay, what was I saying? So okay, I wrote this article at the Political Voices Network, and one of the things I want to do this is what I was saying. If I don't know, maybe I should do more videos. It might take less time in a way, and free up the time to do a show. But we'll have to figure this out one step at a time. But I wrote this article over at the Political Voices Network, so please, if you can, subscribe to Political Voices as well as my Substack. I know there's a lot. You got to subscribe to Substacks. I'm telling you, it's great. It's Substack. I love it. It's like Twitter used to be, but it has so many other features. And I mean Twitter in a way that, meaning that it's not a safe space for Nazis. The rich, Elon Musk, all these sociopaths, they have ruined ruined the human experience at this point. They are, and this is, and one of the things I want to talk about tonight is that what Trader Trump is doing to the White House is, he is proving that he hates this country. He not only hates America, he's confused by America, and they all are. When they are, I don't know if you've noticed, these maggots are posting pictures of Trump in a crown. They think this is funny. I suppose they want to own the libs by posting photos of their dear leader in a crown. But I don't understand how they don't see that you're not owning the libs, maggots. You own yourselves. You reveal who you are. You don't shame us. You shame yourselves. And you prove me right. And I wish I was wrong, frankly. It sucks to be right, literally and figuratively, but they keep proving me right all the time. They hate this country. They never liked democracy. They can only take it to a point. They want all the benefits of civilization. They just don't want the responsibilities we have to each other, especially a multiracial liberal democracy. They hate that. They don't have the fundamental decency, the maturity to function. And the maggots certainly don't have the dignity to function in a free democratic society. Look at their standard bearer. Don't you think somebody, if you had a modicum, an iota of self-respect, would you vote for somebody so fundamentally unfit? Such a con man, somebody that is such a lying, traitorous baboon. No offense to baboons, but I like baboons. You guys know I'm a animal lover, animal supporter, animal rights activist. And I hope one day, not in our lifetime, but if we'll know humans will survive if we extend the circle of compassion to all animals. Okay? It's true. We're all connected, but these maggots, they just can't. I don't know what it is. It's they're sick. They're sick. They need help. And this is why you have to start young, teaching young people about democracy, how it is. It's a tenuous, very fragile system, but it's the best we got. So it has to be protected, and it has to be protected from the likes of Traitor Trump. Him. I mean, if you couldn't have imagined this, that's why when The Simpsons had that episode about the future of America, and they made Trump the president years ago, because it was the most ridiculous person they could pick. Of course, the American people wouldn't be this damn stupid. But it's not just the American people, though. Let's not forget, it's a factor. It's a combination of things. Traitor Trump lost the first election. He became president despite receiving fewer votes based on the system that was put together to keep racists and slave-owning scumbags in the catbird seat of power. So, what's wrong with us? The system has been completely manipulated by the rich, of course, because they don't want to share. This is a sickness. Selfishness is a sickness that this country is suffering under. And I don't know about you, but I'm sick of it. I'm really sick of it too, because I'm sick of the hypocrisy of the maggots who want everything but don't want to share. That's what it's about. And that's why when they're all waking up now, they're all seeing the light that now that Traitor Trump's, the sting of the lash of the failed Republican policies are falling on their shoulders, then that makes me sick too, because I'm sick of them not giving a shit about anybody else but themselves. Yes, I love Sherry Jacobus. I got to get her on the show too, and on the Tarabuster Tuesdays. Andrea, way nice to see you. Thank you for your super chat. And thank you, Michael McAndrews, for your super chat. Oh, and Michael says, you're not complaining, Tara. You are awesome, and we love you, lady. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. And thank you, Andrea, for your super chat. Happy Friday, my friend. Hal Raid. All right. Welcome, sparklers. I'm a sparkler, so, this is it's like Trucker John's show. It's almost, and Trucker John has been on the show and will be on the show again. He's great. So, all right, where is my thingamabob? Hold on a second. Yeah, so I wrote this article at the Political Voices Network. It's up there now. It's called "The GOP Isn't Running." The GOP isn't a political party. It's the longest running con in America, and I am sick of it. I don't know about you. And I if I could see this, right? What's wrong with the corporate media? This is why I wrote this article. I'm trying to help. Oh, look, I'm not even signed in. Great. Let me put this back up. Hold on a second, so I can sign in. But I'm trying to shame the corporate media into doing their job. You know, why is it that they have to present, or that they feel like they must present the Republicans as if they're a sincere political party, as if they are legitimately trying to make a functioning democracy? Hold on a second. This is Tara Devlin. We'll be right back. All right, I think I got the article working. There we go. So, this article took me a few hours to write, thinking about it. And you let me know if I skipped anything out. Because I was triggered. You know, the lib, they triggered the libs. Trump triggered another lib by pardoning George Santos. The person, or not pardoning, he commuted Santos's sentence, which let him off the hook, basically. He doesn't have to pay back restitution to all of the people that he robbed. But this is the Republican way. And and this is what inspired me to write this article. Because it's not just George Santos. I mean, George Santos is a perfect, the perfect personification of the Republican Party at this point. So is Trump. And it makes sense that we're here, that all the years that I've been politically aware and watching the Republicans devolve into a party of con men. The whole thing is a con from the beginning. So it's time to name it and shame it, and shame the corporate media for enabling this. Why? Why is it that, for example, during the last election, when we had to endure the corporate media go on about how the American people think that the Republicans, that Trump, will be better for the economy, when this is a demonstrably false statement? Traitor Trump left office the first time with the worst jobs record since Herbert Hoover. So if the American people think that Trump is better for the economy, or Republicans are better for the economy, when they're not. It's not just Trump either. The whole Republican history of them in control is a history of smash and grab and crashing the economy, making life worse for the American people. And if the American people think that the Republicans are better for the economy, then the corporate media shouldn't be reporting a poll saying, oh, gee, this is what the American people think. They should be correcting the record, don't you think? Set the record straight. That's what you're there to do. If the American people are under some kind of mass delusion, then that's the fault of the corporate media. So, Santos, Traitor Trump, they are two peas in a pod. They are the same. Except Trump, I guess, is better at it, because you got to give him that. He's the most prolific con man on the goddamn planet in the history of Earth. And I have to ask, how much longer are we going to take it? Right? How much longer? Are we all gonna just acquiesce to this dirtbag? This con man? And I like that Canada, I'm sure you saw, Canada said that's it. Not that I like this. I don't like this. I don't like that Canada, our neighbor to the north, are turning their back on America, but they have no choice. What are they gonna do? If you have any kind of dignity and self-respect, you can't just go along and be battered around like a goddamn cat toy on the whims of a baboon. Right? And all of, oh, you know what what's really annoying me besides everything else is that these, I keep hearing Republicans go on about how, oh, Bernie used to be for tariffs. Now he's against tariffs. No one is saying that we shouldn't have tariffs. This is why I hate Republicans. And another story I want to do tonight is how the Post and Fox News are deliberately, I mean, you're going to be shocked, but they are deliberately lying about Zohran Mamdani. They're spreading and stoking, this anti-socialist panic. You'd be surprised, right? I know. It's shocking to hear that they're actually making shit up about him. But it goes to show you, they're afraid. They don't, I mean, what is it, though? What are you afraid of? That people can get fucking health care? That the American people won't have to needlessly die or go bankrupt because they can't go to a goddamn doctor when they're sick or they get paid a living wage? I mean, oh, the humanity. I hate these people, legally and peacefully. But, and thank you, Leave Me Alone, mate, for being a Booty Boost member. Thank you so much. All right, so, okay. Not Mamdani, George Santos. I can't wait to vote for Mamdani. Thank goodness. I don't know. There was another debate yesterday with with Cuomo. I mean, Cuomo, what's his name? Adams endorsed Cuomo yesterday. These two are another two more peas in a pod. Mayor Adams he's another grifter. He's, another disco prowling grifter like Trump. But anyway, all right. So I watched the debate, not the whole thing. I watched the bulk of it. And it's just, it's so, listening to these old bastards tell everyone that we're dreaming. It's a pipe dream. What Mamdani wants to do. What? Make sure that we can afford housing? Tax the rich? Right? I mean, they're just all trying to talk us out of having a decent middle-class life that our grandparents thought was their birthright. This is what really irritates me. But, okay, yeah, so the point is, what I'm trying to say is that the entire Republican thing, or whatever, their entire policy agenda is a con. And it's time for the corporate media to catch up. And as I wrote, Republican policies are designed to separate people from their money, their hopes, their dreams, their serenity, and their rights. They peddle promises to the desperate and fear to the gullible. The only group that the Republican Party truly works for is the rich, the already rich. And for the rest of us, we get, Antifa is coming to slit your throat, destroy your town. Democrats want to ban Christmas. All this bullshit. Waste, fraud, and abuse. That's the problem, right? Waste, fraud, and abuse. The waste, fraud, and abuse is coming from the top. And I'm sick of Republican voters pining for their abusers like battered spouses. For real. What? I don't understand. If watching Trump destroy the White House without any congressional anything, any approval, without a shred of decency, he has no right to do what he's doing. And watching him destroy our house, a rental, for Christ's sakes, without, and telling everybody that, it's, I'm paying for it myself, and it's all these great patriotic donors, which, in other words, or he's getting more bribes, while firing people, while the American people can't afford health care, while the inflation is going back up thanks to his baboonish policies, is it's emblematic. It's indicative of the fact that Republicans don't give a shit about the American people. They don't care. If that doesn't wake these maggots up, then they're a lost cause. Then they hate America. You know, they just don't like democracy that much, and they'll throw their own mother over a cliff rather than share with anyone with darker pigment. That's what it's about. So when I was thinking about the, George Santos and Trump, the two peas in a pod, I made this list, and you'll let me know if I missed anything out. This is what we've been enduring under Republican policies for years. The lie, first of all, trickle down economics creates prosperity. Can we finally say that? No. What has happened is the United States, since Reagan, went from the most to the least upwardly mobile with the widest income gap of all our Western partners. What happened is now we have the widest income gap than they had in ancient Rome. Believe it or not. It's the truth. So the other lie that we've been enduring is tax cuts pay for themselves. Decades of data show that Republican tax cuts from Reagan to Trump did nothing but balloon deficits without offsetting growth. Hold on, we'll be right back. And I'm pointing all these lies out because this is what Republicans run on. Stop me when I've said something that isn't correct here. Deregulation is the path to progress. This is what we keep hearing, that innovation, that we won't have innovation, that companies won't, innovate or create prosperity or make jobs, even though it's not corporations that keep the economy going. It's people who are earning living wages and are able to contribute. And it's the labor force makes the world go around. But, okay, deregulation, the studies show, benefits big corporations, undermines worker safety, wages, and public health. As the saying goes, regulations are written in blood. Regulations, another lie, regulations kill jobs, even though empirical research says and finds the opposite. Minimum wage and environmental protections generally boost productivity and jobs. Jobs. Oh, here's the other one. Biden caused inflation. Bidenomics, COVID-19, and global supply shocks, not Bidenomics, drove inflation, which was a worldwide problem. And then Bidenomics, Biden's policies, brought down inflation faster in America than in every other country, regardless of what Trader Trump says. Now, of course, inflation is rising again, thanks to his ridiculous inability to do anything for anybody else but himself. He's a moron. And like I was saying, Republicans keep going, oh, Bernie used to be for tariffs. Nobody says that we shouldn't have tariffs. And I've said it. Bernie has said it, of course. That's part of a comprehensive economic package. You just don't do it because somebody makes you upset by telling the truth. You don't do it in a baboonish manner. You don't give the effing scumbag so-called president who destroyed everything he's ever touched. That's not me talking. That's reality. You don't do it. You don't give him the power to, on a whim, change trade policy. But that's what Republicans have done, because Mike Johnson, you want to talk about waste, fraud, and abuse, that's the entire Republican caucus is waste, fraud, and abuse. There's no reason for them to be there at this point. They have abdicated their role of a co-equal branch of government, and they don't care. They've been off they've had a paid day off for 300 days, over 300 days this year. How about you? How about you? These are people that write themselves nice fat salaries with pensions that they deprive us, and health care for life. All you got to do is serve in Congress for 2 years, for 2 terms, and then you get health care for life and a pension. The things that they deprive us of because we need to have skin in the game and, I guess, learn the dignity of work, when no one works harder than the American people, than us, than people who have to work for a living. Mike Johnson, well, I don't know how he stands himself, protecting pedophiles, closing down Congress to literally protect his boss, who is a fucking pedophile in the Epstein files. There's no doubt that traitor Trump is in the Epstein files, and so are all of his donors. Not all, but a large chunk of them. Who did they just find? I meant to look this up. There was another Republican that was just caught with child sexual assault material. Another holy roller. Yeah, so, okay, Biden, another lie Republicans whine about. Biden handed Trump a bad economy. This is where the corporate media, of course, fails us every time. It's not enough just to repeat the lie. You have to correct it. I mean, I'm doing my part. Hal's doing his part. We're here. We're trying. But, a lot of these maggots who are watching Fox News, they, I don't know, they won't see the light unless they're not going to see the light ever. A lot of these people. But doesn't mean you don't try. We know that Fox News is a propaganda outlet, and we'll talk about that in the few, because, Fox News makes its viewers less informed than those who watch no news at all. In the age of Edward R. Murrow or Walter Cronkite, that would have been a call for mass firings in the newsroom. If that was known, it would be a disgrace. Any news person with self-respect would resign their position. Not on Fox News, not in the Fox newsroom, because propaganda is the business model to make people stupid enough to vote Republican. And it's not just that I'm like, oh, I hate Republicans. It's not about hate. I hate anything that is destroying the country that I love. And if Republicans had good ideas, then we'd adopt them. It's not like a visceral reaction to a Republican. It's like, look at them. Know them by their fruits. They don't want to have a functioning democracy. That's why they have to lie. Even saying that Biden handed Trump a bad economy, that they repeat because their dear leader says it. And now, we're to the point where Trump's not even trying to do anything for America, of course, or the economy. He just lies. He just said it the other day. I'm sure he said it today, too. Inflation is coming down. No, it's not. No, it's not. He just lies. That's it. That's the plan. Make people stupid enough to think, wait, is inflation down? What's going on here? Is this real life? But there are some people that will believe whatever bullshit comes out of his mouth, but I don't know. When they go to the supermarket, remember how we had to endure the whining of Republicans talking about Biden eggs? Anybody miss those Biden eggs? But, Republicans, they don't have the decency to say sorry, oops, because they're not trying to fix anything. this is what we have to come to grips with. Well, I know we have, but the American people, those who are not paying attention, the ones who are deluded, you got to be deluded to think that Trump gives a shit about you. You look at that ballroom. You think you're going to be going to that ballroom? I can't wait to see the day when we destroy that ballroom. Okay? That's going to be a great getting up morning. Just bulldoze that. Make it a park. Make it something useful. Who needs a ballroom of all things, right? You're going to make a ballroom, which says everything about what we're dealing with. Marie Antoinette with worse hair and a spray tan. He's disgusting. He doesn't care about the optics. This is why I'm entirely concerned, because they're putting people in place that are going to try to steal the election. This is what's happening. He's completely acting like somebody who's not going to leave the Oval Office. This is not a joke when he hands out Trump 2028 hats and things like that. He's not a joke. He's signaling that he's not leaving. But, he's not a king. So there's that. And okay, you could say you're not leaving, but we can make you leave. I suppose that's why he's given more money to ICE than the ICE has a larger budget than the Marine Corps at this point. It's like when Hitler took power. Well, he didn't take power. He was given power by the conservatives who thought they could control him. But he was afraid of the army, the regular army, and he should have been, because they tried to assassinate him many times. Not that I'm saying that's what the army should do now. Let's hope we don't get to that point. But make no mistake, Trump is a dictator. He wants to be, at least. And we have one political party that's abdicated to that. And that's why this midterms, the coming midterms, are so important, and also why they're trying to steal the midterms. So here's another thing. Let's just get through this list here. Deficit. Here's the other thing. Okay, yes. Deficits explode under Democrats. That's another lie. Over the decades, don't take my word for it. Look it up. If you're a maggot just passing through, look it up. Republican presidents Reagan, Bush, Trump have consistently added more to the national debt by way of tax cuts than Democrats through social spending. That actually helps. See, when we deficit spend, we're helping people. We're investing in the American people, not just giving handouts. You see, you have to help cultivate a functioning society. Not that Republicans know anything about that or give a shit. They think that we pay our taxes so they can fund their military adventures against us and keep us in our place. And take that, get their lamprey-like rapacious gullets around the federal treasury. Like Trader Trump, a parasite. He's a parasite. For the 10 years of tax returns that we have, that we know of, he declared more losses than every other single American taxpayer. Like more than almost $1 billion more. Somebody had to be the biggest loser, and it was him. That's your successful businessman. He's a con man. And now that he's back in the White House, shame on everybody who voted for him. Now he wants us to pay him, $250 million now? He's suing. He's suing us, suing the Justice Department And he says, well, it's like I'm suing myself because he's the government in his tiny mind. And no, you're not suing yourself, bitch. We had a duty to justice, truth, justice in the American way, to hold you to account. Now he wants us to pay him $250 million, so he because he took classified documents from us. This guy has got to be stopped legally and peacefully, and they know that the days, his days are numbered, so to speak, legally and peacefully, but that's why they're going to cheat. They're going to try to cheat. So, okay, Republicans, here's another lie. Republicans are good for the economy. This is another lie that I wish the American people I wish the American people would learn from the corporate media, that the corporate media would actually do its job and tell the American people that the U.S. economy has performed better under Democratic presidents in every metric, from GDP growth to jobs to the stock market. The GOP's supply side bullshit trickle-down policies benefit the wealthy and make the working class the more malleable working poor. Inequality rises under Republican policies, this happens every time Republican grifters get power. The other thing that they talk about is they say, oh, well, vote for us. We're the adults. Vote for the adults. You know, oh, they love that Daddy's Home. I should have put that on there, too, now that I'm thinking about it. But, yeah, the Daddy's Home thing is another thing that it reveals how much they hate this country. Because we don't need Daddy. I'm sorry. You know, we're adults. We get to rule ourselves. So, no thanks, Daddy. I know you want to make a ballroom and shit, but we don't need a daddy. That's why kids need daddies. Not adults, not functioning, mature adults who know how to, get along with people. Not like Republicans, though. Yes, but Republicans for years, I'm sure you have heard them say, well, vote for us, we're the adults. And Democrats are, we just feel too much. And that's why, you need an adult to slap the food out of Granny's mouth or something like that. You need an adult to not give a shit and just say, no, we have to let kids starve or let them die from assault weapon wounds when we send them to school and things like that. But that's what they say. That's what the Republicans say. But if the last few years, this nightmare that we've been under has taught us anything, is that Republicans are not anywhere near functioning adults. These are emotionally stunted schoolyard bullies. They lack the fundamental maturity to function in a free democratic society. I've been saying it for years. Trump's public tantrums, the name calling, the chaos. He is the whiniest, babyest bitch titty baby on the planet. And it's just disgusting how we all have to be batted around by the manias of this moron. Look at Canada. What just happened with Canada? He didn't like the commercial. He said it was a lie, taking Reagan's words and lying. But, of course, will the maggots go and do their own research? Will the do your own research crowd actually do their own research? And find out that, no, he didn't make up words and put them in Reagan's mouth. That was Reagan. That was Ronald Reagan talking about how tariffs are, you don't inflict or just set tariffs based on the fact that you're a thin-skinned little Marie Antoinette bitch. Right? It's unreal. So yeah, and I'm sure you've seen the latest with the Republicans when when an actual journalist asks them a question, they say, "Well, how did this happen?" Well, your mom, because of your mother, or your mom did it. Well, who picked Budapest for the meeting? Of course, they do these symbolic gestures. So they met with Putin in Budapest, sort of like as a FU to Ukraine, because of that's where the Budapest Agreement, where Ukraine gave up its nukes under the promise that we would help defend them if people like Putin tried to just, do what he did and invade and take over the place. But when a journalist asked, what's her face, Caroline Leavitt, who came up with that or who chose Budapest, she said, your mom. Isn't that hilarious? I don't, coming from her, it's not surprising, given that she's like, a child herself. Your mom. Oh, guys, aren't you hilarious? It's so funny. This is how unfit they are. But, keep praying, Caroline. They like to release clips. Caroline Leavitt, she likes to wear her giant cross. They all love their big crosses, their instrument of torture that the savior they pretend to worship was put to death on. So she loves to release TikToks of her and her minions praying before the White House press briefing, because they're so religious, they're so Christian. Except we never hear it. We only hear it from them, I should say. We never see it. We never see the Christianity. We just hear them profess themselves to be Christians, but then they act like toddlers. And it's the disrespect is so telling, of course, to the fact that they hate this country. You don't behave like that if you have respect for America. You don't behave like that. And not only America, they hate the American people. So, because what do you think you're doing? What do you think you're offering the American people when you behave like that? I mean, and that's why I can't stand how much time these Republicans have wasted in all our lives with their antics. For all my life, I've had to endure, and you too, listening to them whine. What about the children, right? What about the children? What am I going to tell our children when Bill Clinton got a blowjob in the White House? What am I going to say? What are we going to do about the kids, the children? I don't know. Maybe now I wish you were as triggered by your own awfulness, by your own standard bearer. Right? Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? This is what I mean. That they're just fucking I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. I see the time here. Hold on a second. Yes, we're all drinking coffee. Welcome back. Yeah, so to say that the Republicans are the adults, they're not the adults. They're just these sociopaths in the room. That's it. The overgrown sociopaths. Toddlers. I really do wish they were everything they pretend to be. I wish they were the patriots they pretend to be, the Christians they pretend to be. Oh, and then they, of course, the tax and spend Democrats, they go on about Republicans have never collected a tax dollar they didn't want to funnel to the morbidly rich. On the other hand, Democrats invest in America, and we've had to endure Republicans go on about how Democrats like to throw money at a problem. Well, what do you think happens in the legislature? They're there to write bills, to write laws that distribute our taxes. And as everyone says it's a well-known phrase that a tax document is a moral document. And so, they only have a problem with throwing money at things when the things benefiting, who get some benefit, are the American people. And they do think we are things. We're nothing. They hate this country. If they didn't, if they had a care or concern and they wanted the country to function, they wouldn't lie. They wouldn't divide. They would try to make this country better. But they have nothing to offer. You think Trump gives a shit? Now he's closed. Thanks to his baboonish antics, we've lost our trade partner to the north. Well, I mean, by the time this baboon is done with us, we're going to be in very rough shape. And I don't want to deal with these Republicans again, as if they are sincere partners in governance. They really need to be smashed legally and peacefully into history's trash bin. Oh no. A PragerU commercial just popped up? Oh, Lord. Yes, so talk about Republicans care about debt and deficits, as we know. That only happens, their care is cyclical. It only seems to happen or pop up whenever a Democrat has power, and then they pretend to care all about debt and deficits. As we know, Trader Trump alone added $7 trillion to the debt the first time. He's a dirtbag, a scumbag. And, as my mother always said, if you want to know somebody, look at their friends. If you voted for that, you should be ashamed. Yeah, Trump alone added $7 trillion to the debt, the largest single-term increase in American history. He's going to beat that by far. So Democratic administrations, on the other hand, have reduced the deficit consistently, paying for programs that actually benefit working people, that benefit people, that people want, like Social Security, Medicare, living wages, education. God, I can't take it. See, the GOP's fiscal responsibility ends where billionaire tax breaks begin. And then the canard Republicans are fiscally responsible, which is a joke. And another example of how the corporate media has failed us. When if you poll the American people and they think that the Republicans are better for the economy, the response, the reasonable and sane response to that is to set the record straight. Not to add to the delusion by taking another poll. A poll is not news. You're polling the ignorance of the American people. Not educating them or informing them. So GDP and job growth have been stronger under Democrats. Republicans aren't fiscally responsible. They're just good at lying about it. That's the truth. The Democrats have got to get control of the message here. I can only do my part. And I wish they would listen to me. Because there is a way to message this. And they have to start. We got to get rid of these old guard Democrats, like Schumer. He needs to take a step back. It's embarrassing watching him. What was I watching him do something today? He was upset. Oh, yeah, he was talking about Trump destroying the White House. And even his trying to seem outraged it doesn't cut the mustard, Schumer. It's not inspiring. So, okay, Democrats, here's what we're hearing right now. Democrats give free health care to illegals. Of course, this is bullshit. That is a lie. Federal law prohibits it. And all of the points that I put in the article have links to backing it up. Here's another one. Welfare disincentivizes work. We hear that from Republicans all the time. Social safety nets encourage workforce participation, actually. And even though Republicans, they hate the American people. They, as we know, I've played a million clips at another time. We'll keep that for another day. But for example, what's her name? Lauren, banned from the bowling alley. Boebert, going off on working people who work remotely, how they're taking advantage. I mean, they really do have disrespect. They really don't like the American people. They don't trust the American people. They hate the American people. They have no respect for us. And their behavior speaks volumes about it. The way that they talk about how we're all just laying around in the social safety net hammock, and we, without them kicking us in the ass, we would never learn the dignity of work. We all just want to take advantage. But really, what they're talking about is that the fact is that they're talking about themselves. Republicans are not that. They really do need therapy. They should get the help they need instead of inflict their manias on us. But they really do. It's a projection. They think that everyone's taking advantage because they take advantage. And they're so transparent. They're not that hard to unpack. But the way that they talk about the American people, you would never hear them. They never talk about the rich like that. They never talk about, anyone who's actually taking advantage, who get a free ride. Like all of these like Zuckerberg and Bezos, who pay zero taxes. They get billions of our tax dollars for what? It's not like it's trickling down. When we had a top marginal tax rate of 90% under that socialist Eisenhower, that's when we invested in the American century. We had a time in American history called the Great Prosperity. So you could still be rich. The CEOs made over 50 times the lowest paid worker, not 450 times. Hold on a second, guys. This is Tara Devlin. All right. Yes, so here we go. Social safety nets encourage workforce participation by helping families stay stable enough to seek and keep work. And there are reams of research that back that up. But you see, Republicans know that. They have this research. It's easier for them to lie about it and use it as a cudgel to steal money and give it to the rich. That's all they do. How about climate change policies are bad? These people, what they're doing to the country, to the earth, is unconscionable, leaving nothing to the future but more problems for our children and grandchildren to deal with. That just goes to show you, they're not patriotic. They hate this country. They hate America. If you don't behave like this, you want to set your country up for success. They know that climate change is real. They just don't give a shit. And even still, what if it wasn't real? What if it were that we had that we switched to renewable energy and made a cleaner planet anyway? Right? I mean, it's not like oil is dirty and filthy, and it's not healthy. Not healthy for you, for me, for living, for the environment. So what if we cleaned up the planet and made renewable energy jobs anyway? Not that it, you know what I mean? But it is a crisis. So They just don't care. Isn't that it's just how evil that is? Because the thing is, they know this. But every now and then you have to take a, pinch yourself and say, wow, this is evil. If you knew if your job is to help your country and your community, but you do everything in your power to hurt your country, there's nothing more evil than that, because they're operating with the full set of the facts. They just don't care. So the other thing, Republicans stand for family values. It's another bullshit they run on. They preach morality while voting against childcare, health care, parental leave, every policy that actually would help families, right? Sick leave, health care. They claim to protect kids, but gut education and turn a blind eye to gun violence. Real family values means making life better for families, not worse. Not firing people, not making mothers and fathers lose their kids in another uniquely American gun massacre, or turning children into orphans, as they do. Oh, they love that. Then they'll use the infant in a photo op. That's your Republican Party for you. And then one of my favorites is that Republicans are pro-life, they like to say. Of course, there's nothing pro-life about policies that let people needlessly and callously die. Republican policies gut health care. They oppose any kind of gun control or reform. They gut social services. These are all proven lifesavers. They're not pro-life. They're pro-control. States with the highest abortion bans have the highest maternal and infant mortality rates. And Republicans know that. They get the stats of the poorly run red states that they pretend to represent. They know this. They just don't care. They count on the propaganda channels to cover it up, to lie, to deflect. So, yeah, and as I'm saying, they're not pro-life. Studies show that maternal deaths rise up to 24% when abortion is outlawed, which brings me to the next pervasive scam that the Republicans have inflicted on us, and the corporate media seems hell-bent on enabling, and that is that Republicans are anti-abortion. At this point, we really should call them a pro-abortion group, because Republican policies make so many abortions. It's the truth. Criminalizing abortion does not reduce the abortion rate. And I don't know why Democrats don't take this and run with this. Every time I hear Republicans call themselves pro-life, I'm like, it should accompany. The only thing I guess we'll know that the country's on the right track if that statement is accompanied by a laugh track, because they're not pro-life or they're not anti-abortion. Republican, if you're a Republican and you vote for Republicans because you don't like abortion, you should really be ashamed of yourself. You just made more abortions. The abortion rate is up since the fall of Roe, or the destruction of Roe, not the fall. It's like it didn't happen by accident. It happened because of a corrupt and illegitimate Supreme Court that we got to do something about legally and peacefully as well. But abortion rates rise when abortion is criminalized, as the bans drive people towards unsafe or self-managed abortion. So they not only make more abortions, they kill women. And anyone truly pro-life would vote Democratic, because the abortion rate goes down under Democratic policies of health care, living wages, education, and not just sex education in general. Retirement security, economic policies make the abortion rate go down. So anyone truly pro-life would vote Democratic. It's time for the Democratic Party to say that. What is wrong with how easy is that, right? What's wrong with saying, taking this and putting it on a bumper sticker? Anyone truly pro-life would vote Democratic. It's a proven fact. Just the numbers itself. The abortion rate goes down under Democratic policies. Republicans don't hate abortion. They just hate women. They want control. And they know that the lie they've really been successful in spreading this lie. Because they have a complicit corporate media. And they have half the media is in the hands of the rich. I mean, excuse me. I'm talking about, let me restate that. The entire media is in the hands of the rich. Half is in the hands of people like Rupert Murdoch. And then you have the other half that's in the hands of the rich, but they're masquerading as the liberal media. They're the pro-corporate media. They are the corporate media. So, but you have one half that are literally lying to the dumbasses stupid enough to vote. I mean, to watch them, to deliberately turn it on and consume this bullshit. You know, Fox News had to pay, or they were hit with the largest fine, a judgment against a media company for lying to its viewers. Now, anyone with self-respect would turn the channel at that point, you would think. Which brings me to the next topic at hand. Since we're talking about the media, I just wanted to point this out. I should have done a video about this during the week, but this is, hold on a second. Let me change the screen here. And thank you guys for hanging out on Friday nights here at the Tarabuster YouTube and Substack. So the other day, I was, perusing the media, as I do, monitoring it in all the ways it fails us. And I came across something where, on Fox News, where the hell is it? I have my notes here. Hold on a second. Thank you for hanging out. While I do this, if you can, subscribe to my Substack. That'll be nice. Where is it? Hold on a second. Son of a bitch. And next week, maybe we'll get Nick Parrow from Banner and Backbone and the Anti-Fascist Book Club. And if you haven't read On Tyranny, I think it's a required reading at this point. It's not a long book. You can read it in one sitting if you wanted to. Here we go. Yes, the New York Post. Oh my God. Hold on a second. Here's the music. This is Tara Devlin. Unapologetic liberal talk. Thank you for hanging out, guys. And remember, starting November 11th, this little Tarabuster will be on the Political Voices Network and the Tarabuster YouTube channel on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Tuesdays. Just an hour. A little hour Tarabuster. The first guest will be JoJo from Jers. Isn't that nice? We're going to have some guests on Tarabuster. I think so. On the Tuesday Tarabusters. Boudica, yeah, there she is. Hi, Buddha. Oh, no. You see, Francis has this, he took it off. Okay, he's not licking himself. He had this injury You guys know? And he had to have this thing removed on his shoulder. It's been a nightmare. I've had him in a Thunder shirt, but he licked himself again and opened it up. It's been a nonstop nightmare, but it looks like he took it off. No. He's doing it again. Where is... Oh, shit. I might have to stop the show for a second. Let me play a video. Because I gotta get a cone on him. Because he's gonna massacre his shoulder. Shit. Hold on a second. Oh, this is a nightmare. Francis, no. Son of a bitch. Wait a minute. Can you just hang out a second? I'll be right back. I gotta get this. Hold on. Jesus Christ. All right. That was quicker than... Oh, my lordy. No, this is like a nightmare. Yeah. It's never going to heal. At this point, he just keeps licking it and licking. I'm really kind of mad at the doctor. I don't know. He did a butcher's job on his shoulder. This has been going on for like 2 months or more. Okay, where was I? So the other day, I saw something on Fox News. It's been on there. Fox, they wrote about it, and it was also in the New York Post that Mamdani is absolutely a communist. All right, that's one of the headlines scream that the Heritage Foundation, Mike Gonzalez, told Fox News Digital that Mamdani is absolutely a communist, and they got him dead to rights because there's a video of Mamdani saying that we need to seize the means of production. And when I saw this, I thought, this seems a little sus to me. Of course, it's Fox News. That's your first giveaway. But Mamdani's phrase, and then it was in the Post, too. They were like, he's a commie. It's true what Trump said. He says the age-old communist tome or the communist saying about seizing the phrase, seizing the means of production, which... is not exactly what he said. And so when I looked it up, I thought, wow, this is really right out of, the Nazi playbook. Because the fact is, the Fox News and the New York Post ran with these stories saying that Mamdani supports the full-scale seizure of private businesses in a classic, the classic communist fashion, right? But what they were referring to as their proof was a clip from 2021 of Mamdani with the Young Democratic Socialists Conference, which I happen to be a card-carrying member of the Democratic Socialists of America. And where Mamdani alluded to seizing the means of production, but what he was actually saying is that he used the phrase as part of a broader discussion, basically saying that some think that what Democratic Socialists is seizing the means of production. And they completely took it out of context. So, and it got itself on PolitiFact, saying that. And here it is. Wait a minute. But when I looked back at Fox News, and the New York Post, even after they were fact-checked, do they have any shame? Have they posted a retraction? Of course not. But this goes right to the fact of what we're talking about, that they're liars. They have no interest in meeting anyone, meeting the American people, or Democrats, or anyone who's not them, meeting us fairly and squarely on the field of ideas. They don't have anything to offer. If you had a legitimate retort to Mamdani's policies, then you wouldn't have to lie about him or what he's, or literally take him out of context. You know, which gets me, because the Republicans are always talking about how they're being taken out of context. Whenever they say something, caught in the act of being themselves, they say something, offensive, which is, at this point, we should talk about when they don't say something offensive. And, they say, oh, well, it was taken out of context. But this is literally Mamdani being taken out of context. He's just using the phrase, he says, seizing the means of production during a live conference where they clipped that clip and made it seem like he's a communist. See, look, we told you so. These are the people we're dealing with. Now, we don't see this happening on the other side. I know how Democrats, Republicans, and the corporate media like to tell us how both sides do it, right? This is a both sides problem. Both sides lie. Not like this. Not like this. Can anybody show me where, let's say, MSNBC, even though they're corporate media, right? That's the liberal media. Show me where CNN and I have plenty of criticism for them, of course, but show me where they take a clip of Trump or any of these maggots and stitch it together out of context and say, see, there you go. No, we don't have to do things like that, because there's plenty of things in reality. We don't have to clip things together. We don't have to selectively edit. There's enough offenses that come out of their own mouths without us having to do that. But not on the Republican side. They have no qualms literally making up fake news. And it reminded me of when Biden was in Normandy during his presidency, when he was, there to commemorate one of the anniversaries. I don't remember the exact anniversary number it was of the Normandy invasion of D-Day. And it was on the cover of Fox News. Of the Post, and they played it all over Fox News of Biden wandering off. When he didn't wander off, he was talking to one of the parachutists that were involved in the show. They had an air show, and then which concluded with a bunch of guys jumping out of an airplane, and Biden went over to talk to the parachute guys, or whatever parachutists. And what did Fox News do? They clipped out the parachute guy that Biden was talking to make it seem like he wandered off and was just talking to himself. This is how disgusting they are. And of course, there's no politics ends at the water's edge anymore. They had to make the American president, in the eyes of the people, look like, he was suffering from dementia and just wandering off. They have no dignity, they have no decency, and they have to be legally and peacefully sent to history's trash bin. So thank you guys for hanging out. This is not the end of the show, it's just the end of the Progressive Voices part of the show. We have more show. Just keep coming back. It works if you work it. Wait, hold on. check out Charlie's APSradio.com. And thank you. Become a patron. Subscribe to my Substack. All of that stuff. I'll see you soon. I don't know what you guys think about it. But to me, isn't that disgusting? And it is... They should be ashamed of themselves. That's how much they hate this country. That's how much Rupert Murdoch and the people who work at Fox News that put this together, that the people at the New York Post. You don't have to like socialism, but do you have to lie? Do you have to make shit up? I guess you do. Because what do you have to offer? What do the right-wingers offer, More of the same, more division, more income disparity and upward immobility. All people want is a fair shake, right? As Biden used to say. All people want is, just a fair shake. That's it. No one's asking to seize the means of production, you scumbags. But that's Trump. He wants to seize the means of production. He wants to seize everything. He's the one with the socialist policies that benefit the rich. They love socialism. Trump loves socialism. He loves it for himself. No one has benefited more from socialism than that parasite. That's the truth. From all of the bailouts, from the $250 million tax return he got that because he declared more losses than every other American taxpayer. That parasite's been riding on our back for his entire life. He paid $750 one year in federal taxes. You paid more. I paid more, I'm sure. He's been riding our back for generations. Well, that makes him smart, he says, right? Because only suckers pay their fair share. These people need to be stopped legally and peacefully. They need to be taxed into reasonableness. Yeah, really. And I'm tired. I'm just tired of the lies. Wouldn't it be nice to live in a country where the rich have enough? They say, they're not that sick where they can't stop hoarding wealth to the point where the American people, they're just stepping over people. They don't care. They're not batting an eye. They need more. It's never enough. But, the lies that come out of Fox News, this is what the conservatives do. They attach extreme labels to progressive candidates, of course, right? Oh, what about Antifa? Right? The Antifa is out of control. What's Antifa? There's not even a thing. Another lie. They're just, we are living in very interesting times. My God. Wait, hold on. I'm just so sick of it. Because the truth is, Republican policies hurt the American people. They have nothing to offer. They hurt Americans in multiple ways. Every red state is a shitty shithole. Poorly run shithole. Well, I guess trans people can't pee in a public restroom of their gender identity, so I guess that's enough for them. But in the red states, they cut health care. Yeah, no one's going to be hurt more from Trump's policies than the people who voted for him. I guess that's one thing I appreciate, because if this is what it takes to see the light, maggots, I'm sorry. We've been trying to warn you. We know, normal people, progressives, Democrats, normal people know that we're in this together. We don't need to feel it ourselves to know that if somebody doesn't have health care, we are all in danger of not having health care. That if somebody can be fired or assaulted, or if that scumbag can extrajudicially murder somebody by pointing at them from a satellite and saying, drug dealer, then we could all be murdered that way by this lawless maggot squatting in the White House and destroying it. We understand this. This is why people fought, bled, and died. Not so Marie Antoinette with a worse hairdo and a spray tan and an orange spray tan can destroy our country and build himself a ballroom like a bitch. Like, who does he think he is? Liberace? Who does he think he is? Who is he going to host in that ballroom? You? The forgotten man and woman? Right? Who's he going to host? Billionaires. That's who. More rich people to bribe him. And his maggot children, his spawns, his filthy spawns who are running all over this globe. Not making the world safe for democracy. That's not what they're doing. They're making deals with dictators. They for themselves. They want more money. Come on, guys, everybody. All right, come up. Tara Jr.'s here. Guess he wants to check out. Yeah, so every time Come on. All right, here we go. I don't know. He just wants to sit on my lap. I gotta cut his nails. This whole cat house is going nuts tonight. It's out of control here in Tarabuster Studios. So, yeah, Republican policies harm the American people. They cut health care. They funnel more money into the arms of the rich while hurting everyone who's not them. I don't get it. I just don't get it. How anybody votes for them. Can anybody explain this to me? How anyone it's propaganda. They defund public health and nutrition. They roll back civil rights. Well, they like that. The maggots do enjoy that. Because they think they'll never be touched. That's what we're witnessing, this mass hysteria where they're coming to the realization that, oh, wow, we are in this together. Wow, when I voted for Traitor Trump, I wanted him to hurt others. I didn't think he was going to hurt me. Right? I didn't think it was going to be my retirement, my future, my job. Oh, that's my favorite place. The leopards eating my face Reddit page. It's the best. But it's sad that we had to get to this point. It really is. I don't know. This is what I wonder. I want to ask Hal next time I'm on the show. Because I just wonder if they will ever really see the light. These maggots. It's a shame that it had to get to the point where they're losing their jobs. They're losing their health care. These scums. And let's go there, actually, now that I'm talking about it. This is the leopard eating our face, or eating your face, our face, whatever face. I like these posts, how it's starting and how it's going. Here's right at the top. Mr. Homan, I've seen the pushback you're getting from some of these cities. Can you deputize armed citizens to join the effort? If so, where do we sign up? Yes, also the deportations to children born here to illegal aliens. He wants them to be deported. And now how it's going is, Mr. President, I voted for you 3 times. And you admit that publicly? However, I'm in fear of you losing my health care benefits. I'm an independent businessman and have been diabetic since I was 21. Well, thanks, Dems, right? You think that he would have the manners, the maturity, the decency, the courtesy to say thank you to Democrats for protecting his pre-existing condition? No. Well, he continues, it would be terrible to lose my supply benefits in January. Any response is welcome. Well, I don't know. You had Biden, who lowered the price of insulin, and first of all, then you had Obama, who made it possible for people to get health care who had pre-existing conditions like diabetes. I remember reading an article during the whole Obamacare debate, written by a woman who wrote that she had diabetes when she was a child, when she was born. She was born with it. And at the time when we were enduring that monstrous time in our history where maggots who were teabaggers at the time would go and disrupt town halls, screaming and yelling about freedom to needlessly die without health care. And an article was written by this woman who said that, because one of the things that Obama was going around, of course, if you like your insurance, you can keep your insurance. And that became what I think the PolitiFact lie of the year. And I remember at the time doing I used to do these things called 2-minute tirades for Progressive Voices. And I did a tirade on that going, who likes their insurance? Who hurt you, America? Is this all you think you deserve? This kind of abuse? If you like your insurance, you can keep your insurance. No, nobody likes their insurance. And maybe now we see that. But people like health care. You don't like insurance, you like getting health care. So this woman wrote an article saying that I don't understand how anybody likes their insurance. I'm not alive because of my insurance. I'm alive in spite of it. And she wrote about how when she was born and her family learned that she had diabetes when she was, still not even out of the hospital, still in the newborn wing or whatever, that the doctors came to her parents and had to have a big conversation about this because that they were afraid, your child is not going to qualify. This is a pre-existing condition now. So how are you going to keep your kid alive? And they had to have these discussions on how you have to manipulate this for-profit insurance racket that does everything in its power to deny health care. That's all the health insurance racket does. As we can see now, when the subsidies are going away and the bills, people's health insurance premiums are going up over $1,000 or more. Who can afford this bullshit? And that's why I'm so sick. We're not just sick of this bullshit. We're sick from it. We're sick of the corporate media making this normal. That should be part of the conversation during this whole shutdown, that premiums are going to rise. Not just premium. Why are they going to rise? Because we have a for-profit health insurance racket. And if we had passed a public option to begin with, That's the other thing. I get very upset thinking about. I mean, yes, I guess I could talk to Hal about this too because he's more practical. But I'm like, when Obama he had to take the public option off the table to get the buy-in of what's his name, not Gore. Who was Gore's running mate? Lieberman. Can you hear Ray? He's howling as he does. Ray. And hello, come in. We hear you. So, yeah, to get the buy-in of Joe Lieberman, he had to take the public option off the table. Now, how many people has Joe Lieberman, now that he's burning in hell, how many people has he killed in the subsequent years since he made the American people have to suffer under the for-profit insurance racket because his wife was a lobbyist? Yes, that's Ray Redfoot. He does that. He walks around with his little toy in his mouth and he howls. He howls at the moon. So yeah, if Obama had not taken the public option off the table, of course, we wouldn't have had to go through this nightmare since he signed Obamacare. The only reason we've been batted around like this and abused is because the for-profit health insurance racket is still in control. The whole thing, it always comes down to greed, the greed of the few. Never does it come down to what actually works for the American people. Yeah, 15 years ago. And it's great. And what really gets on my nerves is you'll hear Obama say things like, we insured however many more millions of Americans. Well, you still left millions out. And I would like us to get to the point where millions left behind are the problem, right? Where we don't congratulate ourselves until we understand that everybody in, nobody out is the only American value. So we shouldn't be satisfied with, we insured 15 million more or whatever the number is. I don't know off the top of my head. That's not good enough. It's not okay that we're okay with the fact that millions of Americans don't have health care. And the fact that they can do that to us shows that we have a lot of work to do with the message, getting the message to the American people that the only patriotic value is making sure that nobody is left behind. That's the American way. And this is why Republicans divide us. They keep us divided. It's all about greed and selfishness, of course. But if we understood that we're in this together, we wouldn't tolerate it. We wouldn't tolerate leaving people behind. And we're only, in this situation, I think, well, mainly, a lot of it is racism, of course. And people, and it's greed. Racism and greed. Right. Everybody in, nobody out. That's the only American way. Anything less is not, should be unacceptable. So it's great. Oh yes, let's all applaud. That kind of gets on my nerves when I hear Democrats saying we insured, however many more millions. That is wonderful. More people got health care, but that should not be the talking point. It should be that we have millions more to insure. The only way we can do this is universal health care. And I hope we get to the point where we will tolerate nothing less. And I do think that we might be at that point to a degree. I don't hear the corporate media talking about it, though, of course, because they're all, running a protection racket for the rich. So, because not on any show or any so-called liberal media, mainstream media outlet, I haven't heard it. Have you? Have you heard the, I love Chris Hayes. I love Rachel Maddow. I wouldn't doubt that they would phrase it or position it like the way we're talking about it. But I've yet to hear it in this whole debate when Republicans are kicking people off of health care. We wouldn't be here if not for the fact that, we incrementally accepted this. I don't know. I know Hal he talks about incrementalism. It's better than nothing. But can we finally get to the point where everybody in, nobody out is the only American way? And I think that's how Democrats should phrase it and present it to the American people. And you do it with unapologetic patriotism. Right? Why should we be, apologetic about giving a shit about our fellow Americans? Every other country figured this out decades ago. What is wrong with America? Let's see. Okay, here's somebody says, almost getting it. So this is a maggot that says, since SNAP benefits are going to be paused, that affects my mom's ability to get Thanksgiving items for Thanksgiving dinner. Does anyone know where we could get a turkey? Thanks a lot, you scumbag Democrats. Can you believe that? So it's the Democrats. I see. Well, and then he, of course, got a response from a normal person. Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House. Democrats are trying to keep your health insurance from skyrocketing in price. Undocumented immigrants do not get free health care. Speaker Mike Johnson shut down the government to avoid swearing in the final signature to release the Epstein files. I hope you can scrounge up some money to have Thanksgiving. Vote better next time. And someone else responded, wait, you're a Republican whose family relies on SNAP and you voted for this? Republicans don't even want SNAP to be a thing. Isn't that amazing? And they vote. They vote for their own demise every time. Well, that's because they hate. The hate is strong in America, and this is a problem. We have to do something about that. And that's why education is so important and why Republicans want to destroy it. They always talk about, they're indoctrinated. The Democrats want to indoctrinate the youth. Yeah, we want to indoctrinate them with a love of country and community. How about that? Where a love of their fellow Americans, that they understand how we don't have kings in America. And Donald Trump is the perfect case in point. We didn't even go through the fall of Rome type authoritarian takeover, where at least, the Romans had Augustus, who actually was a competent and capable administrator. That's where we get the Pax Romana. He was actually, after eradicating all of his enemies, Augustus did bring in peace and was able to, have a golden age, the golden age of Rome. We went right past Augustus straight to freaking Nero. A pit stop at Caligula in the first maladministration. Now we're to Nero, and it's not even a year yet. It's not even a year, and this bitch has already tanked the economy, ruined our good name, once good name. We'll never get that back in our lifetime, and fired hundreds of thousands, set this country ablaze, inflicted the troops. He's turned, they want a civil war. They got it. Oh, maggots have been pining for a civil war for years. But I always said, if you want to just secede already, maggots, no one will stop you. But you see, they don't. Just like these leopards eating our face examples. They don't want to secede. They want the benefits of civilization. They want the policies that liberals fight and give them. And, we're fighting Republicans to ensure that this dumb bastard on SNAP benefits doesn't have to starve, But who do you think we're fighting? Chandler Perry, whatever the hell your name is? We're fighting you, idiots like you, who are taking our benefits, the benefits that we provide you in spite of Republican obstruction and lies, and you don't even have the manners or the decency to say thank you. Instead, you blame Democrats again. That's why I can't take it with the Democrats. We don't have to be nice to these people anymore. I'm sick of them. They've done too much damage. They've been allowed to get away with too much of this bullshit, of their stupidity. There's no excuse for this. There's no excuse to allow the dumb to marinate in their delusions constantly. Well, I mean, what is it serving? What is it helping to allow them to remain dumb? It's not working. Talking to them nicely about it, reasoning with them doesn't work. Trying to encourage them not to be morons or to maybe evolve, to encourage them to join the human race and stop being maggot, assholes to people. Be decent to people. That's all we've ever asked of them, right? But that's too woke. We're too woke for you. It's too woke to not be a dick to people. Everything, these whining bitches, they all pine for a time in American history that their policies destroy. They want to go back to the good old days of the great prosperity, but they don't want to go. They want to go back because of the strict racial hierarchies and social mores, but not for the 90% top marginal tax rate, the 35% unionized workforce. They just want to go back for the racism and the bigotry and the misogyny and the ways that they could, I guess, call people the N-word without anybody having a reaction to it, without there being consequences. These people, I just can't believe how quickly. I'm sure that's not true. I can't believe it. I was going to say how quickly they've destroyed everything they touch. Look at how quickly Elon Musk destroyed Twitter. Didn't take long. All you got to do is open the floodgates to Nazis and Russian bots. Look at Trader Trump. I am a little shocked at that. But that's because the first time there were some normal people left that were holding him back. Now there are none. Now the maggots, this is how disgusting they all are. To protect the Epstein files, to protect the fact that their Marie Antoinette baboon, who hates America, is in the Epstein files. They have shut down the government and will strip millions of their health care. And more, and jobs. Oh, jobs, I thought, right? I don't want to ever hear a maggot go jobs again. You sick bastards. Thanks a lot, you scumbag Democrats. You see, we're dealing with very, very deluded people that it's propaganda. These are the propagandized dupes who continuously vote for their own demise because the Democrats have never challenged them to look in the mirror. They have never been, like the statement "cruel to be kind." You gotta talk to people. If you have any respect for somebody, or you just tell them the truth. Before the truth sets you free, it'll piss you off. But Democrats, for so many years, I guess they've been I don't know what it is. They want to, they just don't want to tell the truth about the Republican victim. Republicans are lying to you, victims. It's time to face it. They couldn't give a shit about you, your mother, your granny, your kid, your future. They don't care about you. You're nothing to them. The price of eggs? Where the fuck is J.D. Vance? Well, we had to listen to his bitch whiny face go on about, oh, Kamala Harris's eggs, holding 24 eggs, while saying that it was a dozen eggs. The price, it was a dozen eggs. They're such filthy liars. And then everything about the past 8 months that we've had to live in this shitty timeline is so beyond. I mean, it just proves me right, of course, which I hate. But the fact that, everywhere we look, they disrespect this country. They hate this fucking country. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to say when there was another thing that I meant to talk about with I'm just looking at the time. Went by so quickly. We only have a few minutes. But Josh Hawley, the maggot who ran for his bitch life on January 6th after fist pumping the traitors. Where is this damn thing? He said that he was, they're all making excuses for Trump destroying the White House illegally without any authorization, because that's all that Trump can do is destroy. I mean, why not just knock down the Washington Monument? Why not bulldoze the Lincoln Memorial? According to them, he's got the right to do all this shit. But Josh Hawley said, oh, isn't it funny that the Democrats they care about history now. They say that they care about history when they're the ones that were tearing down all of the statues. Right? Wait, hold on. God damn it. And, of course, he's taking this all out of context, because he was like, they tore down the statue of Columbus. They tore down the statue of Teddy Roosevelt. Like, he's picking the ones that people might have a problem with. He's not talking about the fact that Traitor Trump is putting back statues to actual traitors like General Lee and other Confederates who are traitors. But the devil, of course, is always in the details. Oh, they took down a statue of Teddy Roosevelt. This is what he went on about. And, oh, well, why would you take down a statue of Teddy Roosevelt? Well, because the statue was rather offensive in itself. That's why it was taken down. It was taken down because it was Teddy Roosevelt that was literally like stepping on the back of someone who has darker pigment and a Native American. So just the optics were a little bit racist. And for somebody like Josh Hawley to, of course, not put that in context is par for the course. Oh, why would anybody want to? They hate our history. Why would they want to take down a statue of Teddy Roosevelt? Well, we'll put a statue of Teddy Roosevelt up. Well, maybe not make him, look like the racist conqueror. That might help. Right? But this is who Republicans are. They have this, they're just disingenuous. They manipulate. They can't explain their issues fairly and squarely on the field of ideas. They want to trigger you with half-truths and lies, and full-on lies. Oh, the Democrats are so outrageous taking down a statue of Teddy Roosevelt. Well, why don't you tell us what kind of statue it was? Don't you think we can do better than that now? Don't you think we want to ensure that everyone feels welcome and appreciated in our country, our nation of immigrants, our multiracial liberal democracy? Don't you want to promote the general welfare? No. They want to lie. They want to make you twisted. They want to do it all to ensure that they can continue to steal and step on your neck without you having anything, any will or need to do, or power to do anything about it. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out. Hold on. It's too loud. All right, listen, guys. Listen. Thank you for hanging out. We are here every Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. How are we doing? If you can... Hold on. What the hell? All right. Where is my... I gotta get some... I need more subs. All right, whatever. Maybe I'll get some more subs one of these days. If you can, please subscribe. You can do it. Just, I believe in you. Subscribe to my Substack. That would be nice. I gotta do some more. Subscribe to my Substack. Hold on. I need more subscribers. All right, and there'll be more, because there'll be more shows, more articles. Tarabuster Tuesdays is coming on November 11th. It's only going to be an hour. That's what they like. That's what the people's like. And we're going to have some more guests on Tuesdays. That'll be nice. Oh, thank you, JD Christie, for your super chat. And yeah, I thank you all. And thank you, Michael. I really like your encouraging words, Michael. Thank you so much. And thank you, Andrea, for your super chat and for the Hal Raid. And thank you, Leaf Me Alone Mate, for becoming a member of this little YouTube channel that could. And thank you, JD Christie, for your super chat, Baboon Babonus. It's a baboon babonus. I love it. I can't help it. I like baboons. I really do. No baboon would ever put the stupidest baboon in charge. So, but Trump is worse than a baboon. Oh, look at this. Right on the cover of the Huffington Post. DOD pockets $130 million from Trump's mystery friend. This is why these people are going to work very hard. And that's why I got to keep it tighter on the, what do you call it? On the topics. Because I wanted to get to that, but I ran out of time. The fact that we'll talk about it another day. They'll still be up to their dirty tricks. Talking about how they're trying to steal the midterms. But yes, what happened to the Tara Show is no more, my friend. It's gone. No more Tara Show, and it's not my doing. That's all I gotta say. All right, I can't really. It's not my. Is it my place to say no? It is gone. And I'm sorry about that. And if you missed the Tara show, there will be. I hope you like this show, and I hope you will like the Tarabuster shows that are going to replace it. Okay? And there was nothing between the two Taras. Let's put it that way. And thank you, Teresa Ray. Thanks for the list of shame and the wonderful rant. Thank you. See you Tuesday. Not this Tuesday, my friend. On November 11th, there's going to be the first Tarabuster Tuesday. And then I just got to figure some shit out. We'll probably have it on Thursday, too. But, or maybe another day. I have to see the schedule. I mean, Tuesdays and Thursdays sound, like the natural place. But I got to see if that's going to work. Because of my schedule. So, yeah, November 11th, the week after Election Day. And JoJo from Jers is going to be the guest. I've never met her, but it's going to be fun to meet her and to learn all about her. And maybe one day I'll have a lot of followers too. Who knows? That's what we hope. Let's see. When's the late night show start? No progressive shows at night. Late night. Well, Hal has his show. Hal does like 50 shows a week. So, yeah, I know. Well, all I can say is subscribe to my Substack and this channel, because if I get enough subscribers, then I'll be able to do more shows. More subs, more shows, Because then I won't have to take 50 other jobs to keep the lights on. I'm not kidding. Guys, what time is it? 10:30? I've been sitting in this chair, gotten up to get coffee and use the restroom, but I've been sitting in this chair since 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not exaggerating. It's exhausting. And I also had to get up to, I get a lot of eye drops because my eyes constantly looking at the channel. He does 9 a week, Hal. That's good. I'm envious, really. I got to do more. That's the thing. I really do have to do more. What I should do, we could talk about this. You can help me out. You let me know what you think. We should do more. I need like Banner and Backbone, like Nick Parrow. He does a lot of shows. But the other thing is, here's the thing. I'll have to explain. I also make videos for the Political Voices Network. I do shorts of the Stephanie Miller Show for them because we're trying to grow the channel. And it takes time. So I do the shorts. I try to write articles. I try to, you know what I mean? So it's just a lot of, I don't even think the guy who runs the Political Voices Network understands how time consuming things are. Thank you. Another member just joined. Thank you. Armando Correa. Am I pronouncing that right? Armando. Nice to see you, Armando. Welcome. Thank you for becoming a booty boo. A little booty boo. There she is. Booty boo. Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you, guys. And Violet. Thank you for becoming a booty boo member. Wow. Thank you so much, you guys. Wow, I'm right under the radar here. So, yeah. Thank you. It's nice to know that we're connecting, and it really means a lot that you guys are here. But yes, that's what I have to do. I got to do more videos, I think, instead of writing. I mean, I can write too, of course, but maybe the videos will be like a little faster and I don't have to overthink it. It's a lot. I don't know. I got to think about it. Because I see that's what doing the Substack and the what others do, like Ellie Leonard, who is great. I love Ellie. She's a great person and friend. They're all great. That's one thing also. I love about this community, that everyone is so. I've met so many friends and people who are amazing. We're all trying to make the world a better place. And sometimes you don't meet, for real people, but everyone I've met doing this show and on the Substack have been just incredible. Who's dinging me? What? Something? What? Did somebody send me something? Maybe I don't know. All right. It's time to go to bed. I'm tired. Like I said, I've been sitting here. It sucks. I gotta get back to the gym too. This is just for my mental health. It's just a lot of work. And I'm not complaining. But I'm glad you guys are here making it easier. I couldn't, and I wouldn't want to do it alone. So, yes, more eyes, more views, more revenue, more shows, repeat. Exactly, Redfoot. I'm trying. And finally, I feel like the show's getting somewhere. But I do see that I have to make more videos and stuff. So people respond to that. And I that's what I see that other people are doing, that are getting more subs and whatnot. I just got to get on there and do some shorts quickly and just check in with people. Right. And talk. Maybe I'll do things like grab some, like a headline or something, and we'll just do like a 5 to 10 minute video about it. That might help. Grow the stacks. All right. No more two Taras. No. How do you feel about that? Violet, how do you feel about that? I mean, the problem was, I don't know. It wasn't growing. That's what happened. And then there was some, I don't even know. I can't say. Nothing between the two of us. It's just between the network and not me, obviously, because I'm still there. So. But, yeah, I'm sorry to hear. I know, Violet. It's disappointing. But life must go on. I hope you like this show. I hope you like Me by Myself. Yeah, she did have good connections. But we'll still have connections. She got the connections because of the Political Voices Network too. Because there's more, But I'm not knocking. She definitely did very good work. And so, yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Arrow. It sucks. It does, yeah, I know. It was a shock to me. It was very quick, too. It was like, oh, shit. Here one day and gone the next. But, yeah, I hope that you'll like this show, and I might end up, I don't know. I can't talk about it now. There might be another partner coming. Who knows? Thank you. Thank you, Susie. I'm doing great by my lonesome. Yeah, I'm all right. We're, we both have, the two Taras have the gift of gab, I suppose. So, one will have to do it. We'll have to make it after all. All right. All right, my loves. It is what it is. Thank you, Michael. Michael says we love your show, Tara. Thank you. I appreciate that. Makes me want to keep coming back. And thank you for, yes, loving the kitties, exactly. And the multiple kitties tonight. And Francis, oh my lord. This is not, I don't know. I'm sure you could see. He licked himself again. I don't know what to do. I'm really mad at the doctor. Yeah, you can find Devlin. She has her own show on YouTube, I think. She does. Not I think. I know. I don't have a... You should just Google. Like I said, I haven't even talked to her since this all fucking shit went down. But no hard feelings. We didn't have an argument. It wasn't us. It wasn't me and her. So that we had an argument or something. So don't think that. But it is a little awkward for me now. Because the bridge that at PVN, she dynamited it. I'm saying too much. And no, I gotta I have to edit that out. But, and she's, you know, I wish all the best. That's all I can say. Oh, brother. All right, I better shut up. I'm tired. You guys, yeah, maybe we can guest on each other's shows. I'm not sure if they're gonna like that at PVN. You know what I mean? Bean? It's awkward. It sucks. It's kind of put me in a very awkward spot, I have to say. Oh, brother. All right. Enough. I've said enough. I'm tired. I need to get unconscious. I need to put my feet up. I need to check on my little Francis over here. And thank you, guys, for hanging out tonight. Oh, why am I in this screen? Should have been in that one. All right, my loves. I love yous. And remember Charlie from APS Radio. Not just APS Radio News, but APSradio.com has the Oldies and classic rock station and another station that is all classical music that you can listen to all day. You could just put it on and let somebody do the spinning. All right, my loves. Thank you for hanging out. It is time for me to get unconscious where no Republicans are in my nightmares. Well, they're in my nightmares, not my dreams. So, but I like getting unconscious. Thank you, Michael. Yes, we will go to sleep. We do everything the same. Let's all go to sleep now and check out my Substack. Please be a subscriber of my Substack, or if you can, become a patron, patreon.com/TaraDevlin. You can be a free subscriber, or if you got it like that, you can be a paid subscriber. But Dublin and Poppy Champlin on Tarabuster? Oh boy. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. They're in my night terrors, exactly. Alrighty, my friends. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. Subscribe to my Substack, and then you can hang out with me on Substack, because that's where I'm concentrating most of my social media energy at this point. And there'll be more to come. Thank you. Oh, thank you, JD. Thank you for that. JD says, I will Substack just for you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Right. Sleep is a long-lost friend, Vincent. That's how I feel right now. All right, my loves. Thank you for hanging out and listening and letting me share. And we got more shows to do. We will be back here on Friday, but then we'll have our Tuesday and more. Who knows? I got to figure out how to do some just quick videos on the Substack. I think that'll be good. And also the Anti-Fascist Book Club. I've been on that on Fridays. Maybe next week, hopefully, Nick Parrow can come on and we could talk about it. He's great. A friend I've met through Substack. He's amazing. And I love yous. All right, guys. Thank you, Charlie from APS Radio and APS Radio News. Remember, we will win. Guys, subscribe to Twisted Nerves Painting as well. His YouTube channel and the GoFundMe page is the link is in the description for Twisted Nerves Paintings equipment GoFundMe. If you have a couple of dollars, I know, it's all the e-begging, but this is what we got to do. We don't have big billionaire benefactors. We only have each other. And we will win because we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. We stick together, we win. Thank you for hanging out. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you. And I will see you soon.